Yo, what's up? This your boy Anthony, living by Continental. I'm here in Uganda, Africa. My wife' home country. My wife and my 2-year-old son. This is their home. Um, so we're here down here in Uganda. Uh, as you know, this is our one of our homes. We spend 6 months in the U.S. and 6 months in Uganda. So, anyway, today I want to talk to you all about African Americans, Africans, relationships. I want to know, is it a situation where black Americans want to Americanize Africans? Yeah, that's what I want to talk about today. So before we get started, I want to ask you all to hit the subscribe button, help us grow our channel. Hit the subscribe button, share this content, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. If you're on Instagram, then follow us. If you're on Facebook, follow us as well. So my wife is not with me today. As you know, she take care of the boys all day, and I go on my morning walks as I prepare for work. So right now I'm on my morning walk, and then I'll be making it back home so that I can prepare for work. So anyway, back to the topic. Is it a situation where black Americans, when they come to an African country, is it a situation that some, not all, black Americans want to Americanize Africa? Okay, what do I mean by that? I'm going to tell you. So, for example, you hear a lot of black Americans talking about their treatment when they come to Africa. They speak about things like when they come here, I've even heard some talk about people's English, how they don't know how to communicate with them in their English. They don't use the common courtesies that we use in America that might be common to us. For example, here in Africa, if you're walking down the street, a person is not necessarily going to move out of your way so you could pass. People bump into each other, and it's common. It's not a threat. People here, they don't trip off of it. They're not being mean or aggressive. It's just that's how it is down here. People, when they're walking, you're walking, you might bump into each other, and they're not going to say, excuse me, they're not going to say, I'm sorry, because that's not common here. If two Ugandans, or if I'm in Kenya, two Kenyans bump into each other, they both just keep walking. There's no threat. There's no need for, oh, I'm sorry, oh, excuse me, because it's common in the U.S. So I've heard African Americans express how that is rude, how Africans could be rude. Yeah, for us, that might be rude. But when you come to their home, you got to fit in to their home. So you can't bring your Americanness to that country and expect for them to live off of your ways and your behaviors. So that's just one small example. And then you hear about people, one of the biggest things is people talk about scamming. People talk about Africans charge them more, price gouging. Now, in the U.S., anywhere you go, the prices are published. So if you go to buy food, the prices are published. If you are taking a Uber you know the price before you get in the Uber, when you first order the Uber. If you taking a taxi cab, you pretty much know the published price, how much it is per quarter mile or tenth a mile, however they're charging. So it's not like that all around the world. And we can expect for the whole world to follow the rules and the laws of American society and American system. So in the sub-Saharan African countries that I've been to, the ones that I visited, it is very common that you have to bargain. That's their system. So I hear many Black Americans register complaints saying how when they're somewhere, the person would charge them more because of their American accent. Now, to be very honest with you, even if you are in Uganda and you come from, let's say, Zimbabwe, Africa, or if you come from Libya, or if you come from Egypt, Sudan, any other African country, South Africa, they are going to do the exact same thing. They are going to charge, they're going to give you a higher price because you don't have the local Ugandan accent and you're not speaking the local language. Now, is that wrong? Is that right? That's a matter of an opinion. What I would say, in my opinion, is very wise for any person visiting any country to first learn that culture for that country, understand their currency, always speak in their currencies. I never speak in US dollars if I'm not in the US because it's not their currency. Whatever country I'm in, I first learn their currency, I learn the conversion rate, and that's like my number one step. I don't care what country I'm in, if I'm in a European country, if I'm in an African country, I'm going to learn the currency first. I'm going to understand their currency, I'm going to understand the exchange rate, and I do understand that there's a daily exchange rate. So the exchange rate can fluctuate each day, even several times a day. So those are some of the common things that I'm going to understand first. So the next thing I'm going to understand, I'm going to learn what are the local prices of different things. And as I said in my last video, I was talking about the way you learn the prices is you go to like a large grocery store, a chain grocery store. Like in Uganda, for example, you'll go to ShopRite. So you go to ShopRite, they got fruits there, they got vegetables there, they got different things there, chicken, they got meat, whether you want goat meat, cow meat, whatever. So you go to a market like that and you find out how much does those things cost at that market. Now, keep in mind, the prices at those chain markets are going to be much more expensive than the prices at the local markets. So I'll give an example. If you're at the ShopRite and you're looking at, let's say you're looking at mangoes. Now the mangoes at ShopRite might be 2,000 shillings or 2,500 shillings. So you're going to know that that is the highest that you should ever pay for a mango. So typically what I think is if I go to a local market or a street vendor, it should be maybe half or a little bit more than half of that cost. And that's at the most. So therefore, If I go to a street vendor looking for a mango or to a local market looking for that same kind of mango, if it's 2,500 at ShopRite, I'm going to expect to pay about 1,500, maybe 1,000, maybe. So if the vendor tell me that that mango is 3,000 shillings, I'm going to say, mm-mm. And then they can say, what do you want to spend? And then I tell them 1,500. And then they might say, you add me, you go to 2,000. And like, and then I start walking away. At that particular point, that's when they say, no, you come back. Maybe they'll say, bring me 1,700. And if I'm feeling generous that day, I might give them the 1,700, or I might just leave and go to another vendor and get it for the 1.5. So that's how you understand the prices in an African country. Like say you go to a large chain store, a large retail store, and you start there. That's where you do your research, so you can know that this is the highest point for these particular goods. So we can't expect for the whole entire world to have all their prices published. If you go to a local market or a street vendor, they are not going to have their prices published. So you can't try to Americanize them and say they need to have their prices published, they're cheating me, they're scamming me. No, you're actually scamming yourself. You're actually cheating yourself because you're not doing no homework. You're not doing the work, you're being lazy. You have to do the work. You're not in your own country. Now, if you want to talk about cheating and scamming, then get a mortgage loan or a car loan in the United States, and you're black. And I guarantee you, even if you have a very high credit score and very good work history and bank statements, if you have all the good credentials, and that white man or white woman come sit right next to you with the exact same credentials, both of you all get the exact same loan, same dollar amount, say both of you all get a $300,000 loan, I guarantee you, you're going to be paying way more in interest than your white brother. And that's a guarantee. So don't tell me about scamming, scheming, not over nothing that's where somebody add 20 more cents onto something, opposed to adding 20,000 or 80,000 onto something in the U.S. So don't tell me about that, because that's what scheming and scamming really is. Here in Africa, you just have to learn the culture. You can't expect for it to be America. We can't come and Americanize Africans, because that's not their system. You know, if anything, you come, you learn. The way that you enjoy Africa the most is by coming, humbling yourself, and learning their system. Taking it slow, taking it easy. My wife had to teach me how to be patient. I'm so used to getting things very quickly. I'm so used to being at meetings 15, 30 minutes before the meetings start. So my wife had to teach me that that is not our culture. And it was a hard lesson for me. And I used to get angry at first. I used to become very upset, because I'm like, man, do these people even want money? Do they want my business? But that was me trying to Americanize them, because I'm in their country, I'm in their home. I got to fit in with their culture. So if I have a meeting that's scheduled for 1 o'clock, I have to understand that that meeting more than likely is not going to start till 2 o'clock, maybe 2:30. So I had to learn their system. So here, if you have a meeting at 1 o'clock, let's say at Java Cafe, once you get to Java Cafe, let's say if you get there 10 minutes to 1, you don't see the people there. You kind of waited out. Now it's 1 o'clock. Maybe you waited out a few more minutes. Now you call them at 1:10. At 1:10, when you call them, they say, "Oh, you're there. Let me come now." So I had to learn that that's their system. Their system is, once you arrive, then you call them And then that's when they actually leave their house so that they can arrive. I don't know why. I don't know why it's like that here, but that's how it is. So once I learned that, then I was able to adjust better, and it was less frustrating for me. So if I had a meeting at 1, I might will call the person around 12:20 and call them and say, hey, I'm here. I'm here. Are you on your way? And then I say, oh, let me come. And then we both end up arriving at 1. So you have to learn that person's system, and don't expect that person, don't expect every country to be like the U.S. because every country in the world is not like the U.S. I mean, you could go to Germany, for God's sake, and things could be way different in Germany than it is in the U.S. So you got to understand that each country is different. So when we experience that in Africa, we start blasting like they never on time. I was supposed to be meeting them at 1 o'clock. They didn't get there till 2 o'clock or 2:30. They only did that to me because I'm black. Well, no, they black too. They did it to me because I'm a black American. Nah, they didn't do that because you're a black American. They do that because that's their culture. So we got to understand that we can't Americanize these people. We can't Americanize anyone. If anything, we have to learn their culture and enjoy who they are, and that way we grow as well. If we don't do that, we'll be going to Africa, African countries, and we'll be very angry the whole trip that we're in Africa. So we have to, and another thing, I hear people saying, oh, when I'm in Africa, maybe because they see the prices are so low, and maybe in their eyes they see, okay, in Africa, I'm gonna say Uganda, I'm gonna use that as my base. So in Uganda, on average, you're gonna see people wearing flip-flops. That's all you see, flip-flops, flip-flops, flip-flops. So in the US, everyone got designer shoes, high-end name brand tennis shoes, black Americans. So when they come here, they see everybody in flip-flops. This is what I've heard some African Americans say. So this is not me just saying this, but they look at them like, oh, they're so poor because they got flip-flops. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? I mean, people wear flip-flops here. My wife makes me wear flip-flops. She say, no, wear open shoes because it's more healthier for you. She say when you wear closed shoes, it's worse for your feet for whatever reason. So she forces me to wear open shoes, to wear flip-flops, and she prefer that I don't even wear socks with them. So that's part of what the culture here is, and it's not because people can't afford shoes or because people are so poor. It's because that's what they do. You know, people, even if you're riding on a motorcycle, driving a motorcycle, you're wearing flip-flops. Even if you're working a construction job, laying cement, you're wearing flip-flops. So I see African Americans saying about the dress code, about people, like that about how they don't wear shoes, that they are poor, and that they need help. Everyone in the world needs help some kind of way. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's social, maybe it's just inspiration or whatever. So yeah, everybody needs help. But just to assume that a whole country of people need help because they're not wearing designer tennis shoes, Jordans and Yeezys and all those type of things, that's kind of crazy to make that assumption. So we have to get out of that mindset and understand why do people do what they do when you're visiting their country. Now, there's another thing. Oh, the issue what I was going to bring up. I've heard people say that when they go to Africa, they're even going to pay 2 or 3 times the price of the local price because they come with American dollars and they feel bad paying the local price because they feel like they're taking advantage of the locals. That's a huge mistake. That is a huge mistake. You pay the price. If that's the price that you're given, if you're not into negotiating the price, looking for a lower price, don't go just giving out money, because guess what? That gives them the impression that anybody that comes from the U.S., any Black American, that's become the new price for all Black Americans. So now you'll find them when they hear a Black American accent, then they start upping the price for that reason as well, because they say, well, these people got money. When I'm seeing African Americans, they're giving me 2-3 times more than what the established price is. That's not good. It messes up the local economy. It kind of even disrupt the natural order, where if they see an African American, then they want to prioritize that person over a local person. And everyone should be treated the same, treated fairly. So that's another issue that we have to kind of get away from. And this is not a tipping society. It's not a society where when you go to a restaurant, you're leaving tips. If you leave a tip, you leave a tip, that's fine. But that's a Western construct. I actually did research on the tip, and I understand where tipping come from. So that's not a necessity in Africa. If you do it, you do it. It's not a big deal. But don't go blasting people saying, oh, no, these people was in Africa, they wasn't tipping, they wasn't doing this and that, because it's not like a even cultural construct in Africa. That's a Western cultural thing. You don't even have to tip when you're in America. It's just you've been made to feel so bad if you don't tip, because that's a social thing. In America, it make you feel better that you do tip. In Africa, if you don't tip somebody, they're not gonna go over like, oh, I served this person, I did this and that, and they didn't even tip me, because it's not common here. So learn what's common, learn what's not common, and learn how that affect even the next person that come when you come trying to bring your American ways to that African country, or to any other country for that matter. Maybe if you're in South America, maybe if you're in Mexico, wherever. You have to enjoy where you are and understand how they do things. The last thing is that a lot of what I've seen many African Americans having that that complex of what is it called, the entitlement. So sorry, I was just detained by the Ugandan military, and I'll talk to you about that in half a second. So back to what I was saying. We as African Americans, we come to different African countries with a sense of entitlement. Not all African Americans. I'm just saying that there are a great deal of us that comes with this this sense of entitlement, where we believe that we should be have priority treatment. People should treat us some certain kind of way, and that's because we don't understand African culture. We don't understand true African culture. Like when you're in the U.S., the African-centered Black American is going to be the one with the dreads, or the ones with wearing the ankhs, the different piercings, the women with the head wraps. But when you come to Africa, you don't see none of that. Ain't none of that around. Like my homeboy, he was recently down here. He have a really nice show called Let Me Holla At You, Chemo from the Whole Nine. So check out their show, Let Me Holla At You podcast. But he was down here recently, Chemo and Dre, both from Let Me Holla At You. So when they was down here, I asked him, I say, so yo, how many cats did you see with dreadlocks? He's like, dang, to be honest with you, I think he said he seen one. and that or a few when he was in Jinja, um, and that was at the source of the Nile. I think he said he seen one or something like that when he was in Jinja. So that just goes to show when you're sloping up and down, uh, just around Uganda, you don't see these dreaded cats. You don't see no one wearing onks. You don't see no one wearing this African type of jewelry that you will see in the U.S. You don't see. Uh, you see women with head wraps if they're Muslims. That's it. If they're not Muslim, then they're not wearing uh, their head wraps. You know, if they're Christians or uh, non-believers or traditional believers, then they're not wearing head wraps. That's pretty much reserved for Muslims, you know, for Muslim women. So we have this romanticized vision of Africa that when we come to Africa, uh, we're gonna like fit extremely right in, and that's not really true. You're gonna fit in if you take your time to learn that local culture. So when I'm in Sierra Leone, for example, which is my maternal heritage, you know, I'm from the Timni tribe of Sierra Leone. So when I'm there, I understand the culture for Sierra Leone. So I conduct myself a certain way when I'm in Sierra Leone. And I have friends. I have real close friends there that take me around, that tell me the prices of things, that introduce me to the lifestyle there. So when I'm there, I truly understand how things supposed. They tell me the do's and don'ts of Sierra Leone. So I understand how I'm supposed to act, what's considered to be rude, what's considered to be normal, the courtesies of Sierra Leone. So I can't bring what I know from Uganda to Sierra Leone because it might not be accepted. Or I can't bring what I know from South Africa to Sierra Leone because those are two different countries and they have two different cultures. You know, so I have to act accordingly to where I'm at. So with that, when you come from the U.S., if you're a Black American, appreciate your lineage. Take the time to trace your DNA. Go to AfricanAncestry.com. Trace your DNA. And then you will feel more welcome. You'll feel a part of a certain family because when I went to Sierra Leone, to the Timni tribe, they made me feel like a returnee, like I'm returning home. And when I got there, the chief of the tribe resembles my maternal grandmother. And her daughter resembles my mother. So I saw people that resembles me. They say it was one guy there that looked identical to me. I didn't get a chance to meet him. But my homeboy, Fode, it was this guy that's from Sierra Leone. He's Timni. Him and Fode look like identical twins. And they never knew each other till he made the voyage back home to Sierra Leone. So, when Fode is in Sierra Leone or any of our other tribe members are in Sierra Leone, they feel at home because we are welcomed there. So they do a welcoming ceremony for us and everything. So, but we don't go feeling entitled. We don't go feeling that they owe that to us. But when we do go, they actually just roll out the red carpet to us. Now, when I'm in Uganda, it ain't the same because I'm not of the Buganda kingdom. I'm not of I'm not a Matoro. I'm not of the different tribes here. Now, my family here, they roll out the red carpet to me. You know, my friends, they treat me really well, but no one else owe me anything here in Uganda. They don't owe me anything just because I'm from America, because I'm part of the slave trade. You know, I'm a result of the transatlantic slave trade. They don't owe me nothing here because we wouldn't even take it from East Africa. East Africa had their own slave trade, which was the Arabic slave trade. We was taken to western borders of Africa. So when I go there, when I go to Sierra Leone, I do get a very good red carpet treatment. But don't expect that every place you go. When I'm in Rwanda, nobody there owed you nothing. And they don't just, because you're from America, they don't be like, oh, you're a black American, no, this, that, the other. They don't even care. They all into what's going on in their own country, what's going on in their own lives. So we have to end that feeling of entitlement. No, we're not entitled. Like I say, if you want to have some type of entitlement, trace your DNA, make contacts with your heritage, go visit them, and then you will have that more entitlement feeling, I guess. But other than that, we can't come here thinking that because we're black Americans, they should charge us lower, they should give us free land. Come on now. Even the locals don't get free land. So because you come from America, you should get free land? That don't even make sense. That don't even make bad sense. So don't come to an African country feeling that just because I'm from the U.S., just because I'm from America, just because my ancestors was enslaved. We can't have that type of mentality. We come to Africa and we understand and appreciate the opportunities in Africa, and we build off of it. So that's what I want to talk about today. Just a simple thing of, is black Americans, are we trying to Americanize Africa? If you have that mentality trying to Americanize Africa, you need to stop it. Enjoy where you at, enjoy the local culture, learn that local culture, and build from there. Just enjoy Africa. Africa's beautiful. It's more beautiful when you enjoy it, when you just be free, be natural. It's more beautiful. Now, I had just said that I was interrupted by the military. I was detained just now by the captain of the military and some troops, because as I was walking, I passed a military bracket and I was filming. I wasn't filming the military bracket. I was talking to you all, filming myself, but it became a security concern. So the military personnel, the soldier and the captain, well, actually the soldier approached me. He asked me to turn off my camera, and I did so respectfully. After turning off my camera, then he asked me what was I doing, and I told him that I was filming. I was filming, I'm a YouTuber, and that I was just filming, a show, talking about some things on YouTube. So he asked me for my identity, which is natural. So I presented my passport. So he looked over my passport, and then his captain approached, and he let his captain know who I was. He identified me from my passport, let him know who I was. So from there, they took me to the base. So I had to follow them to the military base. So as I was walking to the military base, the captain was walking in front, me in the middle, and the soldier behind. Then they was making some phone calls to some other military personnel, and then they brought me to the base. They set me down and explained to me that recording near a military base is a security concern, because they say that I could be recording where they're at and exposing them and making them vulnerable to a threat, which I do understand. So I explained to them that I walk that way every single day when I'm exercising, and that time to times when I'm walking, I'm recording myself. So I explained all that to them. And then, the captain, he started talking to me. He said, "You don't feel that you're in some kind of trouble or anything. We just want to know who you are. Just want to get to know you. Here in Africa, if we see something strange, if it's a person that you're not common, that's not common, you want to know who that person is. So the next time when they walk past, you'll know who they are. You'll know their name." So the captain said, "I see you walking this way every day, but I've never seen you recording. So we just want to know who you are." So we sat there, we chatted, we talked for some minutes. They let me know there was more military personnel coming. The other military personnel made it there. And I showed them my YouTube channel, showed them in my wife's YouTube channel, scrolled through videos so they could see, just to authenticate what I was saying. I remember in Boko Haram, a few months ago, there was a black American that was shot and killed by the military. So, I was thinking about that situation, but in that situation, from what I was hearing, first I heard that the guy had some mental illness conditions, and then I heard that he did not follow the command of the military soldiers when they told him not to enter somewhere or whatever. I don't remember the story in its totality, but I do understand that he wasn't following commands, and that something about he was suffering some type of mental illnesses. So I kept those things in mind as well. I tried to call my wife. I always call my wife if anything is going on. I wasn't able to reach her. So the guy was like, "Oh no, don't disturb your wife. Everything is fine. There's no trouble whatsoever. It's just we have to know who you are because it's security. Everybody around here know everybody, and if they see someone they don't know, then it becomes concerning." He's like, "Even if you see something when you're walking that you didn't see 2 weeks ago, let us know, because that's how we do here in Africa, just so everyone will be safe." And then plus they say one of the soldiers was recently shot in the area, so that becomes a heightened insecurity concern. So, which was all understood. So now when the other soldiers came, they asked me the same things, asked me who I am. First they want to know, who are you? And he's like, "Identify yourself." I told him who I am, and then he wanted to know about me. So I went over details about me, who I am, and then from there, I showed him YouTube videos as well, and then he had he asked if he could watch the video that I just recorded, just to make sure that I did not record the military base on there. So I complied. I let him watch the videos, and he saw that I did not include nothing about the military base on there. So then he was comfortable. So then they all was like, "Thank you for complying. Enjoy the rest of your day, and pretty much you can just go on." So I say all that to say, when you understand the culture here, you will understand that one thing, the reason why I don't do as much outdoor recording as I would like to is because in African countries, or in Uganda in particular, it is not common to be walking up and down the street filming and recording. So that's something that I could see coming from America, whether you're Black American, whether you white American, Chinese American, whatever American, you could feel that to be a bit strange, because we're able to record pretty much anywhere. We could walk up and down any street recording, and it's something that's common for us. But it's not as common here to be walking up and down the street with a camera recording. It feels almost like a threat. Like, what is this person doing? Why is they recording? So I understood that because I understand the local culture. I learned that even on my first trip, because my first trip I came in 2013 to do a documentary film on the Toro Kingdom. And I learned during that trip that you should not be up and down the streets recording because it's not accepted. So I knew how to comply with the military personnel because I knew that this was not an accepted behavior here in Uganda. That's why I do it, period, now and then, just so I won't be disrespectful to the local culture and the local community. So that's all important, because if I had the attitude that, oh, I'm a black American, they maybe even doing this because I'm a black American, then I could have even did something that could have caused me to lose my life with the military. I could have been like, oh, y'all only doing this because I'm a black American, and could have been blasting them, or like, oh, I'm going to keep my camera on, because in the U.S. you keep your camera on even if the police tell you to turn it off. So I could have took that attitude, but if I have taken that attitude, I might not be recording right now. I might not be going home to my extremely beautiful wife and my 2 sons here, and to my oldest son in the U.S. So by me understanding the culture, I was able to comply. I was able to understand that this is a big do not do in Uganda. And I didn't take that attitude of, you treat me like this because I'm a black American. You treat me like this because this is how everybody around the world treat black Americans. I didn't take that attitude because I knew that was not what was going on. So that's how we have to understand the places that we're traveling to before we travel there. And that's one of the reasons why my wife and I have this channel, is so we can explain these type of things to people, so that when they do visit Uganda or other parts of Africa, they can have the best time on the planet, because they understand how things work in the local sense. So anyway, I'm about to pass a police station, and I don't want to be detained again. So let me end this for now. I want to ask everyone once again, if you would please subscribe. Hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what y'all think about the local culture, the things I was telling you about how to understand the local culture. Let me know what you guys think about that. And let me know if you guys think that black Americans sometimes do feel a sense of entitlement when we come to Africa. Or should we feel entitled when we go to Africa? Let me know that as well. All right? Until next time, peace.